Hey people, welcome to the Battlefight Ridercast, where we don't know what we're doing, but hey, we're at least gonna try.
Revice. Half man, half dinosaur. All gay? Here's the report.
Hey! So I guess this is gonna be the beginning of our podcast now. Okay, so hey. Yeah, we were just three dipshits and we wanted to do a Kamen Rider podcast.
Wonderful start, everyone.
These are our attempts.
Mm-hmm. That wasn't funny.
So hey, maybe we should introduce ourselves. So the person who should start is the person who uploaded this. So hey,
hi guys.
maybe they should introduce themselves.
I'm Pep. You can call me. You call me Pepper.
We need to start eventually. So please stop.
Hey guys, I'm Dr. Peffler. I've come here with my gamer headset.
Eat shit and die. Eat shit and die. Eat shit and die. Why? I'm turning you down on Discord.
Okay. I don't think that helps with base boosting.
I know, but you're
This is very good
200%
content
bald.
right now.
Yeah, that's him. I'm
No name.
Hey, and I'm just home. Nothing, just home. I sometimes retweet things on Twitter, and that's all my claim to fame.
Don't follow him, please.
Yeah, don't. He doesn't
give him
want
more
that.
ammunition.
He'll delete his Twitter after that.
He enjoys Wizard.
You didn't need to say that, but hey, who are you? The person who just accused me of heresy?
I already said who I am. I'm
Name.
gonna edit in a little soundbite later. It's gonna be really funny. Trust me.
I don't, but okay, let's move on. So hey, how things are gonna go? This is gonna be a bi-weekly podcast because work is hell, and we cannot do a weekly podcast.
Also, we're lazy. That's also contributing factor.
The major contributing factor, but that doesn't matter. What matters is this is gonna be this podcast is gonna have two segments. Where we're gonna in the first segment.
Segment 1.
We're segment one and segment 2, just like he said. And what we're gonna do is the first segment we talk about the latest episode of Kamen Rider.
Or episodes.
Sis-
Considering it's bi-weekly.
In the episodes, yes. And the second segment, we'll do whatever the fuck we want.
Yay.
And in this week's, in the first episode, the premiere episode edition, we're going to be talking all about Saber. But that's for later.
Mm-hmm.
Hey.
Hi.
So,
Aw.
yes, hi.
But I want the sword.
Before Sword, you get Devils, which transitions into Kamen Rider Revice, episode 1. What was the title?
Good question.
Professional.
The title was...
Family contract. The devil whispers Suzuku. Kyoko. Akuma Saseiku.
So, but before we actually talk about the episode, I wanted to talk about like before Revice existed and before it actually premiered. Like I'm gonna turn to Pep since he's the only person out of us that keeps up with leaks and that kind of stuff. So I want to actually talk about if you have anything.
You know, it's kind of sad because before the series released, there was probably the least leaks out of any fucking series since Geo.
That's not too bad, you know? Good
Yeah,
nice
it's
surprise
kinda
once you
funny.
get to him.
And I feel like most of the stuff I have here, I want to talk after the episode because
And then there's
it's
also
relevant to the episode.
there was also a cameo where Revice cameoed in the crossover movie with Zenkaiger.
Wow.
I think because
That's so cool.
because I think that's where we get the first leak where Revice was on the poster.
I love crossovers. I love seeing people I recognize in other shows I recognize.
You will love the Tyson movies, I bet.
Haha, sure I will.
You know, funny note about Zenkaiger. They waited
Yeah.
until Saber ended.
And yeah, speaking of, then Revice also had a cameo in the bonus episode of Saber.
We don't want to talk about that.
No, we're gonna. I don't want to talk about, especially I don't want to talk about the Revice parts in that Saber episode because they were bad. Anyway,
Specifically Vice.
yes.
I guess some relevant information for what happened before the show is after the movie they released like a short special episode for Revice and that's been retroactively confirmed.
Oh, so we don't talk about it.
Episode
What the fuck?
3.5.
But we can at least. Do you want to talk about the staff listings before or after we discuss the episode?
I mean, I don't know the staff.
So the
listings, I
writer,
just know
The writer. Let us hear.
so the writer for, as I know, the writer for Revise is new to Kamen Rider.
Yeah, it is like his first time doing Kamen Rider or a show, as far as I can tell, because normally he's a novelist. I don't know what he wrote because I couldn't find it.
It's also his first time writing a Toku show, right?
As I said, it's his first time writing a show.
I know he was credited on some movies
Oh.
when I was looking.
Revise larger
but
universe?
he might have been credited as the
No.
original creator.
Question mark?
No, completely disconnected. Please
Yeah, you
stop.
never know.
I know.
You know.
Those movies were like 10 years old.
It's the long game, buddy. Long game.
Speaking of a long game, we can discuss the beginning of the episode where we start in the year Kamen Rider began.
Before we begin that, could I please say the title of the episode?
Okay, what was the title of episode 1 of Kamen Rider Revise?
Kamen Rider Revise, Episode 1. I have arrived. Or in Japanese, Ore Sanzo is the first episode of Kamen Rider Revise.
That's weird, I just finished Zeno.
I am
Editor,
good at
I'll need you to
shit.
mute me here.
Mute yourself. So yeah, we open on the episode in, I'm pretty sure it was South America, 1971, aka, hey, it's that year that they referenced in Kabuto.
Oh man, I love Kamen Rider Amazons, which
Yes.
came out
And,
8 years after that date.
But
What a cool
I don't think
homage.
it's 8 years.
we open on a plane, on a CG plane flying through the air, and then there's some kind of excavation.
What do you mean CG plane? You never been on a plane? That's what they look like.
We open on a scene like where we are in an excavation, and we see a white person. Oh,
We should make a note. The guy who should make a note left. I should take this moment to download the images I had prepared.
and what we see then is the person they find. Yes, they find a little statue that could be misconstrued as a stamp by some dipshits. And then for some reason the guy presses the statue that isn't the stamp on his head, and a CG monster comes out. And then we cut to damn it. And then we see that it was somehow filmed on a video that kind of reminds me of Kuga, where they also have a video of the first contact with the monster that's attacking people that are filming it. And we cut to the people watching it. We have They were Americans. Yeah, and then we see that the two people watching this clip are part of the organization member Foundation X, I mean Phoenix. And we have who I would assume is the leader or the head of Phoenix, who you might remember from Kamen Rider Amazons as hey, it's that guy. And yes, and next to him is were we all and the second person watching the video we can all agree who is the creator of the belt, of the Revise belt. And clearly the best character of the show, George. Where they just generally exposit at us, at the audience, or like, you know, like it's not the major exposition that comes in later. But it still feels a bit ham-fisted, but it's a okay, fine scene. We get a proper introduction of like these two Like what I would assume are the two faces of Phoenix we're gonna see throughout the show. Yes. And then we transition to our main character, Igarashi Iki, if I remember correctly, that's the name, right? Who, throughout how he showed himself in the episode, he didn't blow up at me like anything with anything extra, but he didn't leave a bad impression. But yeah, like while we didn't get like any like him having like a big bombastic personality, which I think makes sense considering he's half of a main character. But we do get a lot on his background and his kind of motivations and more depth to him. No. What I meant is what I meant was he doesn't have a bombastic personality since he only is half of the main character. Since this is very much like, I would say, like Double, where we have two main characters, so they are meant to bounce off each other. With where Igarashi, right? And yeah, that's the where Iki was the one more. Iki feels to me like he's the one who has his cool. Sometimes, like we see in the interaction where he freaks out. That's but mainly because, hey, there's a weird demon with a face mask popped up out of nowhere. Which we could talk about Vice, where. Yes, where are your masks, everyone? While vaccines are out, that doesn't give you the right to just throw your masks. Fucking use them. But yeah, like Iki is a what?
Pizza.
So as we're talking, we got to Iki. And we're discussing Iki. Where
yeah, while we are on the break here, I looked up his actor and. Apparently, he's a big fan of Kabuto.
Oh, hell yeah. That makes me very excited. But yeah, we were discussing Iki. I was like, I enjoy
the series.
But yeah, I enjoy Iki being much more down to earth compared to Aruto and Toma, at least early on. What Toma was. Which makes sense considering we have the secondary main character, Vice, his demon. That,
some would say he's Mr. Bombastic. I don't know the rest of this song. Sorry, continue.
Or I would describe him as if Momotaro's was more unhinged.
That's good, actually.
If Momotaro's was not an old man.
Yeah.
If Momotaro's actually wanted to hurt people and not just beat the shit out of people.
So basically, the fusion of Momotaro's and Ryutaro's.
That's good.
Well. Yes, but what kind of threw me off in the episode was like the way it was structured. It made it seem like Iki has been hearing Vice's voice for a lot longer. But then it says like he's still like but the way he acts later on makes it seem like he just started hearing him like yesterday.
Oh, like what's new is that he started seeing him. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
that's the idea.
I'm not sure if Vice even knew he was being heard before.
Like, when he was hearing Vice, I think he just assumed that was himself and not somebody else.
Mm-hmm. Like, this is something I'm gonna expect is gonna get touched on later on, like when he started hearing him and all that. And we're gonna start later explaining how does one start hearing their own devil.
Man, my inner voice sure is unhinged. Oh well, time to continue on my day.
Yes.
Isn't that how it works?
And then we also get introduced to Iki's family, where we have the mother, who is who's the person with the dick and the balls in the family. We have the father, who is an asshole vlogging YouTuber.
He's not an
And then
asshole. He's on the grind. I respect that.
I don't know, doing two rope jumps, I wouldn't consider that a grind, but okay.
He can't be a Sigma meme. He's married.
Oh shit, you're right.
And considering the mother, he's 100% a beta. And then we have two other siblings. Since Iki is the oldest, we have the...
Kobayashi Strong Lady and Secondary Rider.
We don't know if she is a Kobayashi strong lady just yet, but we know she's doing karate.
She kicked the shit out of a couple of those demons on her own. That's pretty strong.
Yeah,
lady.
she actually beat them up by herself.
Oh yeah, right.
That's some punch girl shit right there.
Hell yeah.
Which also reminds me, Iki's actor is apparently a second-degree black belt in karate.
Ooh. Damn.
Hopefully we get some proper fights in out-of-suit fights with the Iki, since that's something I've always been missing in Kamen Rider.
Did we have a single out-of-suit fight in Saber? Like, we had them, like, getting hit a lot out of suit.
Oh, well, to be fair, the foot soldiers were very much missing in Saber, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about Revice. Keep it on topic, please. And then,
were there any out-of-suit fights
and then we
in
have,
Denno? That's on topic, right? Revise?
Not yet. Now we're discussing the family. We can discuss bullshit after we finish recapping the episode.
Alright, if you say so.
Yeah, we need to keep it structured. Come on, man. It's like then we have the brother who is working who's working for Phoenix and is clearly set up to be the secondary rider.
Mm-hmm.
He actually straight up confirmed he's the secondary rider during the press conference.
Okay. I know nothing about the press conference. You're the man with the info, so you're here, free to correct us.
Yeah, I didn't hear about it until like yesterday either.
He has the mock syndrome of like was supposed to be the main character.
That's less mock.
That's
the Gattac disease.
Oh, right, yeah.
Get a proper introduction of the family, so we get to see the hierarchy, where we know the father is clearly at the bottom. And we also get to like show off like
grind set.
And we also get to show off like regulars at the bathhouse that the family owns. Which
Like
I'm gonna
one
assume
guy with a
Be
beard
appearing
who
in
was
future episodes.
Yeah, so I assume they're gonna be appearing in future episodes. Since they had talking roles, so like, oh yeah, you're gonna come back.
the beard guy confused me so much. When he showed up. Wait, can we talk about this now? Because it shows up later on. I'll leave that for later. Continue.
And then once we're done introducing the family, also get to show off who are the antagonists. Who, hey, unlike the previous seasons, they get to have a proper place.
They kick so much ass. So good.
Where we have Deadmans with let me get all their names. We have
Who lives in the weird anime on the other sea?
yeah, they live in starfish under the sea, a mechanical starfish, if you will.
Huh?
Well, you forgot the shot where we get to see like their bases underwater.
I saw it was underwater. It's a starfish?
It looked to me like a starfish.
Oh, I said anemone.
Or anemone. Okay, and we their names are Aguilera, Olteca, and Julio. And
is that second one the word for library?
No.
Olteca. And we know that the leader of the Deadmans is Aguilera, who seems to be who they said is like the wife of this
Fiance.
of like this great evil thing called GIF.
A very Super Sentai villain.
Yes.
Yes.
Also, wait,
And,
we can't go on without talking about how absolutely Devilman Crybaby this whole scene was.
Yep. Since we get the devils in a club.
We got the devils. We got the club. We got the indiscriminate stabbing turning you into monsters. We got
Instead of stabbing, we get stamps.
stabbing. What's the difference, really?
A word.
Blunt damage.
Blood. And I like that. I don't know if it's a clear reference, but Aguilera's design outfit clearly reminded me of Kuga. We have of Baruba, since I remember like the one like out. I don't like since Barba was keep changing outfit, but I remember like I think it was her starting outfit was also a red dress. And says, "Hey, this is a 50th anniversary, so we're gonna be referencing all the shit." Like I know that it was talked about that the main like all the antagonists, like the big antagonists, are supposed to be referencing Showa era Rider.
Oh.
Yes.
Wonder what I was referencing then. Oh, she's gonna transform. She's gonna just turn into Super Tackle or whatever stronger sidekick was.
That would be very funny.
So
I mean,
good.
Tekka was technically set up as a Kamen Rider, but only in the Spirits manga.
Ah, spirits. The resting place of Showa's good ideas.
I mean, hey, didn't the Kuga manga show up in Heisei for Heisei Generations Forever?
Yeah, it's literally just like the fucking manga on the ground, and then Kuga pops up out of it.
Hey, so maybe they're gonna treat it like this. Like, hey, the Kamen Rider Spirits manga is real, so we're gonna reference that too.
Okay, I should probably bring this up.
Hmm?
One of the producers was interviewed about the state of other Kamen Riders in the revised world, and basically it's nebulous because the original plan for it to be something like, oh yeah, it's a TV show, but then with the problem that there would eventually be crossovers and the movie already existing, they decided like, let's just leave that be.
just do the Digimon approach of it just doesn't fucking matter. Cross Wars did well with that. It's alright. Have you guys seen Digimon Cross Wars?
I've only seen the first season and half the second season.
In the final fight of the last season of Cross Wars, they have this whole big threat, Digimon, I don't even remember his name now, but they can't beat him. So what ends up happening, I think, is the villain of the original season, who is still alive and is also an old man, opens
Which
up...
villain?
No, I mean the first season of Cross Wars.
Okay.
Opens up a portal to something, and then all the goggle heads from the previous Digimon seasons come in, despite the fact that Tai and whatever the fuck the second guy's name was were TV shows in like all the other seasons of Digimon.
No
one talks about it. It's just a thing.
While you were looking up, I was looking at the casting for Revice, and I found it like quite funny that the character named Julio, his actor's name is Claude Hachijon.
As I was saying, talking about gratuitous referencing, we then head to the back room of the club, and we see
A wrestler, who I know is a wrestler thanks to Super Patchwolf. Thanks.
and not just a wrestler. What does he get turned into?
Mammoth.
Wait, is he Mammoth? Shit, the joke doesn't
Yes.
work. I thought it was
Well-
Spider.
Nope, die.
Damn it!
Spider is
All this setup for
shows up
nothing.
later. Spider shows up later.
Ah!
Feel the pain.
I'm editing this whole part out of the podcast now. None of it's making in.
So that means I can say something really bad.
Don't say it!
But yeah, after we get the introduction of the Deadmans, I think that's where we get Iki like, you know, having a small talk with Vice and then talking with his brother about his like his past, about his aspirations for like, you know, his soccer aspirations where he wanted to be a go pro, and but seemingly his family taking priority, or maybe something else happened. We don't know. Also, a lot of ducks in that bath.
His best friend
Yes.
died in a tragic footballing accident, and he swore to never pick up the ball again in his honor. And
His friend was the guy from Forza whose fondest memory is cleaning some balls.
Wait, don't you mean that guy from Persona 4?
No, that's Forza.
But no, there's also a guy in Persona 4 who loves to clean
right, but
balls.
Persona 4 isn't a Kamen Rider show. In fact, it's not even a Kamen Rider video
yeah,
game.
you're right. It's a Sentai show.
Yeah.
But yeah, after we transition into, Iki's brother, who I think was Daiji, his name.
Yes.
There's like a big meeting, and they're like a big conference. It's like, hey, he's getting promoted. Then there's family being dipshits.
Also the regulars.
Yes. And the regulars and all his family just being dipshits there. Which then transitions to unveiling the Revise belt, which sits in a computer.
Now, I'm really interested to see why it's called the Revise belt, honestly. Because that feels intentional, you know? George feels he has to have a reason.
That was also explained in the interview with the... It was explained in the interview with the producer.
No, I mean in-universe, not like out-universe, you know?
Oh. Because Revise doesn't have any meaning, actually.
Oh. But George is so excited about it, though.
They first up came up with the name for Vice, which that one's obvious.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And
it's the only one's actually a name.
Then they tried to find a word that ends on a VI.
They just couldn't find it?
And eventually landed on Revi, which sounds similar to the, I think, Latin or Greek word levi, which meant to fix. So to get a Revise is to fix the evil.
Alternatively, the writer just really, really liked his genes.
My headcanon is someone in the where they were discussing the name of the Bumblebee. Somebody had a lisp instead of a device, said a Revise, and George liked that.
That's good. That's a good one.
But yeah, I'm still wondering why is the
with a photo of the gaming rig.
But I'm still yeah, I was like wondering why is the belt in a gaming rig?
George is a gamer. That just confirms it.
Yeah, and then we transition. We're at the 10-minute mark, and hey, why is the action already starting? Which I would say like the main. I would say like the main negative about the episode is the weird fast pacing.
They need to put Live Devil in there because it's just such a good song. They need to get it in there. That's the only reason.
It's really funny that a Live Devil starts with "No one can ever know," considering that everybody knows.
But yeah, I felt like this is something like the producer said, like we mandate 10 minutes of action, and because I felt like the character parts, like where we introduced the Vice, where Iki meeting Vice for the first time, felt like weirdly paced, where it was going at a 2x speed. Which
I get that, but I also feel like the action helped define Vice a lot better, you know?
It did, but still, like the actual introduction with them meeting still felt very fast paced. Which, considering I've recently finished watching, then I get a clear point, like a point of comparison where I can compare the first episodes of each season and see.
Maybe that was also a problem. They tried to shake it up a bit to make sure people weren't like, "Oh, hey, it's Deno 2," which it is.
It is, but there I could see like where Momotaro's got a much more clearer introduction. Where it didn't feel like it was a fast forwarding through their introduction, unlike here. But it's still just it is a negative, but it's not something that would like maybe not enjoy the episode or the character of Vice and Iki.
I said the action was really wrong.
At the very least, it didn't feel like someone forgot the episode needed action like other premieres.
Later, but yeah, in here we get the dead man just busting through a wall. They're just busting through a wall, and then one of Phoenix guy, a big smart man, thinking, "Hey, I wasn't chosen to be the wielder of the device belt, but I'm still gonna try and use it, and then instead we're gonna birth another devil that's gonna murder people."
So this is,
aka Kamen Rider, definitely gonna be an evil.
This
Kamen
is
Rider
not in the episode, but his name is Hiromi.
He even has a name. Note it down, people. We've got a villain.
And something that we forgot to mention is how we know from the first scene with the leader of Phoenix and George that Daiji, Iki's brother, was also meant to be actually Kamen Rider Revise. He was supposed to be the holder of the Revise belt. But when they start attacking, all the devils pop up. Daiji just gets flashes, And he's like, nah, I don't want this belt.
It's gonna
And
be
then,
like Delta, but good. That's the
he
feeling
saw
I'm
what
getting.
happened to Hiromi and got scared, I'm pretty sure.
His mom was about to be eaten. That's pretty terrifying.
Yeah, but that happened after he dropped the belt. And instead of picking the belt back up, it came to Iki, the big brother, to jump in and instead of put the belt on, just stamp
Big boy,
himself
strong
because hey,
hero, man.
I'm making a deal with the devil with some cool zoom in shots.
No belt involved.
Yes.
And Vice is
He's
so
devil.
trustful, right, guys?
I mean, yeah, the first thing he did was punch some devils, and only after that he started salivating after looking at
Shut
that
the
milk.
fuck
You
up.
should trust Vice, he wears a mask.
Shut up.
Yes,
God.
he was even gonna eat her while the mask was on, which
Question
you
whether
gotta
the mask is
respect.
actually
You gotta
supposed to be a
respect.
mask, because, well, yes, somebody points it out in a certain episode that didn't exist. Nobody points it out here.
It feels too like there to not be a mask, you know? I feel like at some point he has to like rip it off and reveal the berserk form.
But then George does Kamen Rider Henshin poses at Iki, which inspires him to put the belt on. And we get the proper Henshin sequence where they get a line conversation between Iki and Vice in the background, which
Yeah.
Pep, do you have the
It's
translation?
mostly just Iki shouting at a Vice for trying to eat his mom.
Can we wait? Send the text. We'll do a dramatic recreation.
Hey, demon, you tricked me! What the hey? I helped you, didn't I? You're about to eat my freaking mom! Okay, that's a good line.
You can't fool me!
you vile demon.
And Vice.
Anyway, we then get
damn
the henshin, which is we get the henshin sequence, which is I'm a big fan of the sensual breathing on the
So
stamp.
for context, that's
Big
done
fan
on
of that.
stamps to like
And
moisten the ink if it's been there.
Ah.
yeah, and I also like the DNA strands in the henshin sequence where I can see
My
that,
personal headcanon is 1. George's henshin pose has powered up the revised driver, and 2. The DNA strands in there aren't like Iki's DNA merging with the T-Rex DNA. It's George's DNA which he has put into the driver, and that's why Iki becomes a Chad after transforming.
he put his cum in the driver.
Come in, driver.
Yeah, then we get the return. Hey, we have a 0-1 like action with the dynamic camera angles and cool
the
cool
good
shot
shit.
composition in the fights.
That wall kick is the best thing in this whole episode.
What
It's
about
so good.
Vice's wrestling moves?
Still better.
I like the usage of like, you know, using like, you know, fake walls to demonstrate like, hey, we're breaking down walls, which kind of remind me of that Fies did it a lot. Where they would be fighting, there would just be collateral damage from their
And
punches and,
since
kicks.
Fies was like the best season of Kamen Rider, we already know that this is gonna be really good.
No, that's for later. Don't spoil it. Don't spoil future content. Don't spoil the Inoue trilogy. But yeah, the action was really good, and I say, like, since we were mentioning like Kabuto, I like that the weapon for a Revice is basically the same weapon that Kabuto had, where it was a pistol that you could then flip over and it was an axe, where this seemingly is an axe that you flip over.
Doesn't
It's a
really
shotgun.
matter since he shoots from it anyway.
It's also the same thing as Parad's axe, isn't it?
Whose axe?
Parad from X-Aid, remember?
Did he also have a axe gun?
Yeah, he did. That's when he was in Perfect Gamer.
Yeah.
Perfect knockout gamer.
And we also get shown off that You also get shown off that when Ikki stamps his chest, he gets CGI legs.
Give me that Kobayashi cheese
Imagine-
straight into my veins.
Imagine if he played soccer with
Why
those.
Kobayashi?
Have you not seen O's?
Oh yeah, right. O's because CGI legs. Yeah, I know.
See
But
ya!
that's not Kobayashi juice. That's O's juice.
Either way, it works. Pump me
No,
full of
because
greed.
because that doesn't show up in Ryuki or Deno.
I mean, I haven't seen.
But yeah, then we get a
wait. It does kind of show up in Ryuki because he has that one thing where the bike becomes his leg. Well, no, it's a wizard. Never mind.
die. And speaking of Wizard, the finishing Rider Kick very much reminded me of something like Wizard, where instead of just, it being a normal like they kick something, and that thing is attached to their leg, which is, it makes the cool Rider Kick.
That makes the one cool thing about Wizard. Yeah, you're right.
No,
yeah,
there's more. There's more.
You're right. There is one more cool thing about Wizard, and he gets
There's multiple.
fucking everything stolen from him.
There's more cool things about Wizard that you still have yet to see, so shut up.
Gremlin doesn't exist. Shut.
Yeah. So yeah, and then after that, George just gets very excited, like, "Hey, you're Revi and you're Vice." And then I like that we get a reverse of the Deno situation where Momotaro gets named and he's bad because that name sucks. And we were here, Vice gets named and he's like, "Oh shit, that rules."
I like to imagine that George
good
in that
name.
moment wasn't just like naming Ikki Kamen Rider Revi. He was actively trying to change Ikki's name into Revi using his powers.
Since this is in Japanese, it would be Levi instead.
He's a big fan of Attack on Titan.
I mean, would you be surprised?
And then George is very excited about Ikki becoming a writer, which he then declines, which I'm gonna assume is gonna be very much be an interesting plot point in episode 2. Is that hey? I know, shocking, right?
It's so cool. It's such an interesting idea to have a character who's... It's like a fake out, you know? You think they're going to be the main character, but they're only the main writer for one episode. I can't wait to see next episode where Daiji ends up taking the Revi's driver. And...
I'm sorry, marketing says no.
Aww.
Is Ikki actually the first primary writer to refuse the call?
I don't think so. I feel like there has to be someone... Faiz. What's his name?
Takumi, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Takumi
but there
didn't want
wasn't
to
really
be
a
Faiz
call to
originally,
adventure
right?
there.
He only
No,
took
he
it up
didn't.
after
Just
the
kinda
lady.
happening at the time.
Yeah, he was hooked by the pants and he just dragged into the adventure. Like,
Kuga, Aito, Ryuki, Faiz, Blade...
Agito Kana, where he was unaware he was already called into the adventure.
Not that he was refusing it at all.
That's true.
No. But like, yeah, I would say like Ikki's the one that he just said, "No, I don't wanna." Like in episode 1, like there are that I can tell of
That's
like
Sigma, right? Right, guys?
but like yeah, I mean it's all about family.
Oh no, he's not.
I mean,
Sigma.
he's
a Dom.
he said
a Dom Toretto.
He said he cannot be a Kamen Rider since he has to protect the bathhouse. But yeah, like there are other writers that were like, I don't want to be a writer anymore. But that was already like in the middle of the show. I cannot think of like anyone like saying it right like in episode 1 like no I don't want to be, and they have to like be told like nah you're gonna be the main writer. They have no choice. Marketing team already said so.
Gaim has that minus
See,
the second
this was
part.
Akiba Ranger,
if you think about
he would
it.
actually fight the marketing team.
Okay, so that was 3 episodes. You got the recap.
It's a good first episode. I don't understand why they called it Oresanjo. Didn't really have anyone arrive. I guess Vice arrived in the
I'm
middle of the
sorry,
fight, but
you got the wrong manuscript. The actual title of the episode was Family
what's that in Japanese?
Contract. The Devil Whispers. Kazoku.
From the wiki!
No, I mean the whole title.
Kazoku. Keiyaku. Kazoku. Keiyaku. Akuma Sasayaku.
Shit, that's actually really good. It's got a nice flow to it. It's very Ghost, actually, now that I think about it.
Now that we're done with the episode, I have
Ah.
one more interesting kinda leaks. I mentioned that a commentary track
the
released
new
along
forms?
with the first episode where producers kind of talk about the show, and during that they make some strangely nonchalant comments, such as mentioning that there's a high probability that we will see George and Hiromi transform, and on the more interesting side, which seems like a very strange thing to say, they specifically said, other than the Igarashi siblings, they're also looking at George Karizaki and Kadota Hiromi to possibly transform later.
Kado? Who's Kado again?
But wait, do you mean all the
Igarashi
family members are gonna
siblings.
get a fucking rider form?
No, they said... Yeah, only those
Siblings.
two.
So hey, we
Oh,
get
wait.
a female rider.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Oh,
We
wait,
get a...
but who's
He
Kado
didn't
again?
get his
I don't
name in the
remember him.
episode. It's Hiromi, Caveman.
Ah, okay.
The man who wanted to have the
I'm
belt, but
wondering,
the
like,
god said
can
no.
he transform with a devil, considering that his devil was destroyed?
No, George becomes his devil.
I don't know why, but he kinda gives me Yaguruma energy. He kinda gives off. So we could have like a Hell Brothers like arc to him.
Who's the second Hell Brother?
Yeah, but George is actually
George.
really
I want to see
That's-
Punish George now.
I mean, look at him.
But yeah, like I would say yeah, overall it's a really good start to the episode. Where we get strong characters, like we get some hints that they're like, there's some depth to them, with some hinting there.
Yeah, I honestly
And,
think Revise is gonna be really good. It might even be good enough to be like, it's gonna be a satisfying stopgap between Saber and Kamen Rider Shinobi,
Yes,
which
of course,
is coming out
definitely.
next year, as we all know.
But yeah, I was also very, very excited about the Vice, how he was portrayed in episode 1, which I was scared because of the episode that didn't happen, and the way he was introduced there made me hate him.
Also, in a rather interesting
God. Saber went out with a wet fart.
a rather
Pun
interesting twist.
intended.
Also, like the Deadmans were already an established threat at this time in the series.
Well, that was
Yes.
really interesting. That felt very, what do you call it? Drive, you know?
And Kabuto.
Yeah.
This is the
Very Kabuto, where we have already have
no,
an
but the-
organization fighting these enemies.
The difference with
But instead of-
Kabuto is that, like, in Kabuto it's all secret. In Drive and in Revise, it's, like, very out in the open, everyone knows about it, and everyone is afraid of them.
In that aspect, is actually very much like 01,
You're right.
where the third was also very much known to the
yeah,
public.
but in this case, it was known before the series started.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I can't wait for the bathhouse to become the new Daybreak Town.
No!
It's going to happen. You can't stop the will of the Ark. Even has water this time.
But yeah. Do you all have any other things you want to say
I
about
can't believe
Revise?
that Iki lives inside a Kiba reference.
I'm so excited to get to that scene that you all keep posting.
Do you have it? Because I don't.
Considering I now met both of the characters in that image.
God.
But yeah,
I have nothing
that
to
was
say.
Revise.
Oh, I do have one
It
thing
was
to
a-
say. I'm very
Yep.
excited to see Vice's rap album drop soon. It's gonna be very fun to see.
But yeah, that was Revise. Unequivocally good. We all agreed that it was very good with small nitpicks. I like to think. Yes.
See, at the end of
I
the
like-
day, I like it when
You're
the
right.
big pink armor man gets to kick a guy through a wall. And as long as that happens, I'm happy. You know, I can't ask for much
fu-
more.
Thank you, but for ruining my transition. Now we have to do it like this. Hey, we're talking about Saber now. It's Saber spoiler cast. It's all
On the
Saber.
other hand, Saber has no big pink armored man kick anyone through walls. It does, however, have a big pink armored man shoot someone through a wall, which...
And yell at the top of his lungs. So yeah, Saber. General thoughts, I would say, like, the first things we want to talk about is, like, how do you all feel about Saber? Let's start with Meme.
No,
what did you think about Saber?
Let Pep go. I have something to prepare first.
No, I feel like Pep should go last.
I don't think a few words will suffice to how I feel with the ending of Saber. So instead, let me read you a poem. Hate. Let me tell you how much I've come to hate since I began to live. There are 387.44 million miles of printed circuits in wafer-thin layers that fill my complex. If the word hate was engraved on each nanoangstrom of those hundreds of millions of miles, it would not equal one billionth of the hate I feel for swords at this micro instant. Hate.
He said the thing! He did the reference!
Yeah.
But hey, how did you feel about the whole show and not just the ending?
I have no final form, and I must scream. It was okay. I think the show's average overall. It's got a lot of high points, but it also has a ton of low points, and when those low points are low, they're really low. But at the same time, when the high points are high, they're really high. Raw as fuck, 6 out of 10. That's my rating.
Oh, you use barbaric forms of rating like numbers, huh?
Okay, let me say that again. A Kiva out of a Deno. That's my rating.
Saber, as you said, Meme, it's like it's very ups and downs, very high points, and also very low points. But also, I would say like another thing that with issues I have with Saber is unlike with other shows, like the writers like can hide the rewriting and the retcons. With Saber, it's very apparent when retcons and rewrites happen. To the point where entire just characters. Just characters change, plot points just get dropped all of a sudden. I have a joke about it later, but we'll talk about it later.
I think it's even like more in your face because Zero One had all of that and probably a bit more. So that was like the real height of the pandemic when 01 was coming out, and I feel like 01 handled it way better.
Like you could still tell, like where in 01 rewrites happened, but it wasn't as apparent as with Saber.
Yeah.
And there was also, and I fear there were production issues in the back because I have some things I've looked over that I find interesting. I'll talk about it later. But yeah, while it's very up and down. I would say it still wins out with the writer aiming for like it unlike Ghost, which the head writer of Saber did previously. Here he also attempted very high concept ideas, but this time they worked much more and they happened much more frequently.
He aimed for the stars. He didn't hit the moon, but he did hit a mountain.
So even though I don't have any I feel like the characters of Saber might leave my mind very soon. There are a lot of moments in Saber that I don't think I will ever forget, just because they were that impactful. So I would say like Saber is a collection of fantastic moments that you will have to pick and choose. So yeah, it's still like I would say overall it's fine, it's okay. If you can vibe, if you can vibe with its tone and just have a very don't really. If you're not having a lot of trouble just getting immersed, like in the first episode, if you're just feeling, if the first episode doesn't get you immersed immediately, then you can just skip it. But if it hooks you with episode 1, then it's I recommend sticking with it because there are some good stuff happens. So I'm gonna give it 2 Kamijos out of 15 because that's how many times he was mentioned after episode 15. Thank you.
Pep, your
so
turn.
hey Pep,
I'm
what did you
very
think
afraid
of?
Because this has had like proper build up. It feels like a drive from Devil May Cry.
Yeah. So, what did you think of Kamen Rider Saber here, Pep?
Swordman raw, primitive dragon brain happy.
I like we have a wider range of opinions on Saber.
God, I hate Primitive Dragon so much. I did
love
it
it.
before. It's like taken a while to stir in me, but Primitive Dragon is so cool when it's first introduced. And then, like, it gets, after it's introduced, it gets one cool thing that happens a little bit afterwards, with Emotional Dragon, when he like, auto-blocks attacks. And then nothing. Nothing for like a good 10, 20 episodes, until the very end of the finale, where you know what happens. You've seen
very
Sailor.
underutilized. But yeah, like as I was saying about the I feel like there were issues like when it comes to the production staff. As specifically when I looked and I noticed, hey, is that the number of episodes that the Takuro Fukuda wrote, like overall of the entirety of Saber, like including the supplemental material that he was the head writer for. He was still credited as a writer less compared to the secondary writer, Keiichi Hasegawa, who overall wrote more episodes. And just if I were to count it, Takuro Fukuda.
I do want to point out Fukuda wrote all the rawest episodes.
That is true.
He also wrote the two best episodes in all of Saber. That, of course, being Kamen Rider Saber X Kamen Rider Ghost and Kamen Rider Spectre X Kamen Rider Blade. I will not elaborate.
Yes, I said he wrote all the supplemental materials and also episode 0, which I haven't seen. I didn't even know there was episode 0, but okay.
It's nothing. Don't worry about it.
But,
Technically, it does set up the fact that Saber and 01 are in the same universe, but it's so dumb that no one remembers it.
Shut up.
But yeah, but you said Pepe, that he wrote all the last episodes. But what struck me was that Keiichi Hasegawa was credited as the writer for the last 4 episodes.
Yes.
Including the bonus episode. So he was credited as the writer for episodes 44, 45, 46, and 47.
I now have a direction which to aim my hate.
But he also wrote episode 40 though, which was really good.
Which one is episode 40?
Look at the thumbnail.
No. Alright, yeah. Yeah, fair enough.
He still has a lot of he still wrote a lot of good episodes, but it just feels weird is that
no, but to be fair, no. He also killed off the best villain in Saber, though.
Yeah.
So,
it just to me felt like it wasn't just once again it wasn't just like Ghost where there were Fukuda was where he had his ideas and he wanted to push them, but the producer said no. And so had other writers to kind of steer the direction. God. And also, I heard that there were already even as it started premiering, there were already rewrites and reshoots of Saber. And it's just also just tells me you can just look at the first 15 episodes of Saber, you can tell that something went wrong because it's just speeding through the plot.
It feels like the first half, the first half of another Rider season, you know?
Even half, it felt like the first 2/3 of another Rider season. Where we have a lot of stuff that gets set up in there that just never pops up again. And not just plot points, but also just characterization. Where Toba at the beginning was characterized as someone that can read people really well and can in turn manipulate to their advantage. Like the scene where they were looking for where him and what was his name? They were looking for the Forbidden Tome.
Oh, right, Forbidden Tome.
With Daishinji when they were looking, and he kind of talked him into revealing where it was or where it would be.
Oh, I forgot about that. It was so cool.
Where Toma was characterized as someone that was quick on his feet, thinking on his feet, and someone that was very much like that. And I feel like after episode 15, he would like that side of him would pop up like once or twice, but even then it was just. I feel like after that his character just became Luna and Kento.
You know what it was? It's probably like using the Rekka so much melted his brain. Just got progressively dumber.
And that's what I would also say about like this to me is like after episode 15, just the character dynamics and everything just becomes less interesting. Like it's like where Rintaro, just I feel like his character arc ended so soon, where he had nothing to do for the last 12 or 13 episodes.
Yeah. And then they open another arc for him, and they never fucking close it. I'm so pissed.
Look, maybe in the movie. The movie's gonna be good. It's
It's
written by
8 years
Fukuda.
later. It is 8 years. It's gonna piss me off more if he finally says it in the movie.
But hey, at least the movie is written by Fukuda. And directed by the director who directed the Ren versus Disaster fight.
And yeah, speaking of, while yes, I would say I would still say like while the first 15 episodes were the most consistent of Saber, all the highlights are later on, and especially with Ren and Disaster, who Ren throughout the first half of Saber I just hated. I despised Ren because he felt so one note. And while yes, that was the point of he was just a angry child that wants to fight, I still felt like they could have done a bit more with characterization. Like not make him more deep, just more background as to why he's like that.
We could have given him a gambling addiction.
No, but they just could have. I would have been fine if you had like a one episode of backstory with him, or just like how he and Kento first met, for example.
We technically do have backstory. I think it's just a special which we never got to see.
Yeah, that's the point. Where I feel like all the good stuff is either like sporadically in the show, or it's all in the special. Not counting the movie with 5. Quotation marks and 17 asterisk points.
Don't worry, Saber's getting an
We
actual
swear.
movie.
It's not gonna be just 20
Thank
minutes
fuck.
long.
I mean, it is another Falcon fight, so. I mean, hey,
Yeah.
at least Falcon appeared in the main series.
And he had a better introduction
For
to the
what
series
that-
than
for
in
what
the
it was
movie that was
worth.
supposed to be about him. But yeah, like, and also what I would say is that while I would say like if we're talking about how how the dead bands in the revised feel like Showa, like or Sentai villains, the Megiddo or the Megids in or in Saber aren't really presented like that, but they feel like Showa villains because just they feel so black and white, so one note. But yeah, but that's later. Like at first, like in the first 15 episodes, that they just feel like we are the evils. And also the Caliber guy, but no, you don't talk about him. Yes. So yeah, his reintroduction as a Caliber was good. It was cool, but I feel like this is one of those cases of rewrites where the lore of the Caliber, like with Kento's reintroduction, didn't fit at all the first 15 episodes. And what we knew about Caliber. Like, it was, but once again, this is another like the running theme with Saber, where it has a lot of good enclosed episodes / moments. If you just take those episodes out of context and enjoy them for what they are, yes, they're really good. As I said, some things I will just forever remember because they were just that good. Like the 2 Kento episodes, the Cross Saber's introduction, the episode 40, the death of Isaacs, the episode 46 as well. The actual last episode, not 47, that one doesn't exist. The Ren versus Disaster episodes, like all the episodes that where they were the center. Those were fantastic episodes on their own. Now that's the thing. Just a lot of it just seems to turn into mush. Yeah. Or more specifically, Saber forgot about itself. Like, Sabella's character, at the start she was this intimidating female antagonistic force that felt very strict, very cold. But then once her brother showed up, her character completely changed. I would say I would actually disagree, but because after the introduction of her brother, her intimidation factor just dropped, for me at least. And even then, like, I would still be fine with it if her brother was at all an interesting character. Sadly, no. Yeah, so there was a cut. I'm assuming that just how a cut happened because meme is bad. Anyway, we were talking about Durandal. We were talking about Durandal.
Just put in voice to text for the parts very quiet.
No, don't, please. Anyway, as I was saying, I would have been fine with Sabella's character shift if Durandal was at all an interesting character, but sadly he wasn't. The only thing interesting about him.
So wait, before we move on to Durandal,
Yeah.
Is there any chance that Ghost Rider may have a certain complex?
A brother complex, you mean? Or sibling complex?
Yes.
Because
it seems to be a recurring theme in his work.
I don't know, that thing just popped up for one episode in Ghost.
I'm not sure if it was Fukuda's idea.
No, they brought it back. They specifically brought it back.
Yeah,
I don't know if the Sabella thing was Fukuda's idea. That feels like writers got their hands on her and didn't know what to do.
But yeah, Durandal is not at all an interesting character. The only interesting thing about him is that, once again, they stole a power from the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And they gave it to one of their writers.
I mean, he also doesn't function like a human.
Crimson. Indeed.
Yeah, the more I think about Saber, I see, I remember all the cool stuff that happened. I remember all the stuff that wasn't cool, or the stuff that I just forgot about, that I just felt like was pointless. Like, hey, guys, you remember Avalon?
Yes.
Fuck,
Welcome,
I forgot about Avalon.
That stuff, how it was built up, as I mentioned with the Forbidden Tome, the place where Yuri was for thousands of years, or at least hundreds of years. He was protecting.
What happened to Excalibur?
Where he was protecting, Excalibur was protecting this one book, this one cool ass book.
Wait, you know what? Isn't Yuri stronger than Excalibur? Because Yuri's about strong as he's stronger than Dragon Knight, and Dragon Knight was a power up after Excalibur.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yuri was literally stronger than the artifact he was protecting.
Yeah, it was so built up, and he had his own mech that then wielded Toma as a sword.
I wonder if that mech has anything to do with the fact that it was never used again.
I don't know. 01 used the mech.
Don't use the mech. You can do it without the mech. 01 used Mammoth a couple times. That was fine.
And they used mechs all the time in 01. They were used multiple times.
Yes, but 01 didn't waste half its budget on bad CG.
God, it shows up Wonderworld shows up twice too. There's the first episode, and then there's the fight with Grasshopper.
Even
Man.
without the mech, you could still use. It still had its own identity, where it was the dual wield form.
Yeah, And it was had a really sick sword.
Yeah,
you're-
but
Which they did use that eventually, but
it still feels like that was underused, especially when you look at Cross Saber and you realize it has the same coloring as the Arthur book.
again, there was specifically a form that was Cross Saber and Arthur, and they never used it in the
and
show.
we never saw it.
Which all points to my theories about there being heavy production issues, especially with the writing and just all the cuts that were happening. Sounds to me, Saber was a hell thing to produce.
I mean, you had a theory for why Cross Saber was what it was.
Yeah,
Say it.
I don't even remember.
You
So
were
long
talking
ago.
about how, there was the decision to make final form simpler, but that memo never got to the writer.
But no, I was watching some other like discussion videos that people had about Saber, and one of them mentioned that apparently Saber's the Cross Saber suit was hell to make because all the stars on it were individually painted. So they were all unique. So that's why it looks like a recolor, because it was already hell to make.
Wait, it wasn't a recolor?
It wasn't supposed to be original recolor. It was supposed to be a bit more. I mean, you can see a bit more, like, you know, where the sword is bigger on the head, and it was supposed to be a bit more. There was supposed to be more on the Cross Saber form, but because it already took so much time and effort to make, just to paint it, I'm guessing they just didn't have enough time and just manpower to finish it, so they just had it be a recolor.
Also, I feel
Well,
like Saber could have been better if it took place like 2 years later.
you're right. It should have come after Shinobi.
You have a lot of faith in Shinobi.
I do. I like Ninja.
It would be weird if
Ninja
it came
cool.
out after Shinobi, because there would be 2 seasons in a row that are based on elements.
No, well, you know what?
Shinobi based
You know
on
what's
elements?
gonna
I
happen?
thought they were like animals.
You know what's gonna happen? There will be a ninja themed Rider season after Revised, but it will not be called Shinobi. And Shinobi will just show up in the movie as the
Kamen Rider Kunoichi.
no.
Can't
That would
believe-
Yes.
that would imply the main rider would be female. So no.
I can't believe there will be Kamen Rider
Don't worry, it's a
Naruto.
cross-dresser. Toei will still be happy.
Also, like, one thing we forgot about Saber. Hey, you remember that one arc where everybody just wanted to kill Toma for no reason?
That was a good arc. Shut
No,
up.
it wasn't.
Yes, it was. They had reasons. It made sense. You're just too stupid to understand them.
I mean,
No.
they did make sense. It's just probably
Yes.
needed a bit more time.
Yeah, it felt like they
Yeah.
turned on him immediately.
Okay,
they're-
maybe it was a bit too fast, but
They
I
were-
understand it. I could make an exception in my mind.
I was
Go ahead. Go ahead. Please,
yes,
go ahead.
it made sense because they were already all part of Sword of Logos, so it made sense that they would part with the person that was from Sword of Logos. It's just the reasoning Sabella gave out, and at the rate of going from friend to betrayal was too fast, and the
I mean, it wasn't just no. It wasn't straight up friend to betrayal. They confronted him first and tried to like talk to him peacefully, and then it escalated from there. They weren't like all out. They weren't there to kill him first time.
What pissed me off is that it's all of them being
No,
the
and
aggressors.
also-
They all attacked him.
No. And also, Toma was being the biggest dumbass because they said, Toma, are you doing this to get power? And Toma was like, guys, I need to get more power. Please, you have to understand.
I mean, yeah, he needs.
It's like, what?
Like, he worded it wrongly, but this to me is
It felt like something out of early Blade.
no. This felt like
Yes!
This felt more like something out of the Inoue season where people didn't know how to talk.
Shut up, Fize is good. Move on.
You get excited for Agito.
I was about to say, like, technically Agito counts.
And also Hibiki, but don't worry about it.
Hibiki's fine. That's only like 1/3 in a way.
And we're moving on.
Moving on. I think we've been going on for a while now. Do you think we should start
There are.
getting to the last
I
segment?
still
Or
want to
no?
talk about something that we didn't really discuss is the aesthetic of Saber and the suits and the designs. I've already I said this before. I've said this when we first got the leaks about the designs of Saber, and it was I still don't like Saber's design.
Really?
It's just it's not that I don't, it's okay. A little bit different. It's not that I don't like it. It's just all the Espada and the blades already look so much better than Saber.
I remember.
I agree with Espada, not as much Blades. I think Blades has, in my opinion, the worst out of the main.
No!
Suits. Just because I really don't like the lion chest being like straight down the middle.
Meme.
You know, it's too
No,
balanced.
that's what.
Which I guess fits his character, but like I just don't like. his
Meme,
aesthetic.
do you know what was Holmes' biggest problem with Saber's design?
Too asymmetrical.
Yes.
It was his fucking cape.
Yeah, I hated the.
His cape is so
I
good.
hate the cape. And then I look at
Half capes are the sickest.
and then I look at Espada, where it's like, oh yeah, instead of it being like a fucking cape, just this piece of cloth at my ass, it's a capote, like what was it called, where you have the cape over your shoulder, the small cape, which makes
cloak.
that's not a cloak, but
A half poncho.
That thing Beast uses?
yes, that's true.
What, a fork and knife?
No, his quote-unquote form changes.
But yeah, like that to me is like that one makes sense since it's going off the shoulder where you already have the lamp, and to me it's more aesthetic.
Espada has the best one out of
Yeah,
all
it
three
has-
of them. I think we can all agree on
It
that.
has the best base form, but the overall best design it still has to go to Blades with his final form.
Okay, yeah, Blade's final form is really
Like
sick.
it wins. It has a mane. It is
It's not just a mane. It's a mane that reaches like the back of his knee.
Yeah.
Guys,
so good.
Guys, if
wish
you're
it.
gonna
Wish the form wasn't just thrown into the garbage after its introduction, but okay.
Guys, if you're gonna praise the form, I will request that you actually say its name.
Okay, let me
Let me look it up.
get up into the annoying ass name. What did you expect? It's an annoying ass name for the form.
I know it, which means you suck.
Shut up. But yeah.
Kamen Rider Blades, climax form. There, I said it.
Wrong.
Fine.
We need the full name.
Nagare, Batto, Tategami Tenkai, Subete o Hokishi, Hikishi, Tategami, Hyoju Senki, Gao, Longetto,
You
Tategami, Hyoju Senki.
you could have just said Tatekami Hyoju Senki.
I can't wait for
No, I
I
couldn't.
can't wait for
I
you to
couldn't.
read the Henshin jingle for Super Tateba.
Let me find
No,
it.
don't. You'll get spoiled.
That will be for
Super
the
I've seen the
Okay.
movie already.
that will be for the O's episode.
Oh, yeah, fair enough,
Because I said it'll spoil the content. Also, I wanted to mention another thing that I feel like was underutilized. Was King Lion Daisenki, where I wish Rintaro transformed into the lion form more.
I wish he would do that less, personally.
It's cool.
It looks so bad.
It
It was used twice, and one of the uses sucked because it was a horrible episode.
Yeah.
Exactly. Even less.
That's
than
why I
that,
wanted to
please.
use more so it could show off being cool. And also reminded me of Double with Axel becoming a bike. And
That's the bad feeling.
imagine a scene where Rintaro transforms into the lion mode and he's riding, and on top of him it's Rintaro shooting off electricity, riding
that
him.
would be.
Or if you want to use more,
You mean Kento, right?
Kento. Not, or if you want to use more euphemism, just go with Toma. Cut that out.
That was so bad it made me sneeze.
Get that gay out of here.
I mean, I would say Saber is on the rider, on the gay rider scale. It's pretty high.
I feel personally, I think it's. I get a lot more bisexual rider energy.
With Rin-
Just because you
But
have.
I would say just with Rintaro, but with all the rider and also Buster, because hey, he's a Mary.
I feel like Rintaro became really gay and then tried his best to stay straight.
But then you also have Kento, main character.
Oh, Kento and
Toma.
Toma, fuck.
They fuck.
Kento, Toma, and what they
Luna.
tried to do with Luna.
No, Luna is a child. Let her be. That's why it's only Toma and Kento.
Oh, yeah,
And
fair
also,
enough, yeah.
and also Ren sometimes when he's looking at Kento's hot body sometimes. I mean, we saw Ren shirtless in episode 47.
That was their desperate plea, trying to get Ren his spin-off movie.
I hope he gets a spin-off movie where he gets a disaster form. That would be sick.
He fucking better. If he doesn't, I'm gonna be so angry.
It has to wait.
Even
It
more
has
than
to
I
wait
already
after the 1000 V cinema, which I swear is happening. Totally.
I mean, Fukura is listed as credited as a writer for like a V cinema. No.
Oh, wait, guys, we forgot about the best gay couple in all of Saber. Shinji and Best Boy.
You mean Sneakers Man?
Yes, yes, Sneakers Man.
Yeah,
Exactly.
the V cinema is coming out in May 2022.
Yuri, that's it. Yuri.
And yeah,
and Ren.
also
That's what I'm
that's the
thinking.
one that's 8 years after. They call it the V cinema on the wiki. Which
also have
the full title is very raw. Which
Yes.
is Kamen Rider.
It's also
Yes, is that
it's
what-
also very worrying considering what the words deep and sin represent in context to the writer.
Yeah, the full title is Kamen Rider Saber, Trio of Deep Sin.
1 second.
And I like the catchphrase for the film, which is, after 8 years, the swordsman's new story has begun.
Or Kamen Rider Saber Shinzai no Toryo.
That wasn't as cool. Die.
Fine. あれから8年、剣士たちの新たな物語が始まる。
Yeah, it's like new stories begun. What, are you gonna pull a fucking Deno? You're gonna have like 7 movies?
I hope.
I hope, also hope not.
How many before they replace
Does it
Toma?
have the charm of Deno?
I would also like to remind everyone that Deno got a movie in the year of our Lord 2020.
Yes, it's a prequel crossover.
I still need to watch it. It looks really fun.
But yeah, and since we talked about the designs, like I would say like of the other designs that aren't the main trio, I feel like Buster's is my favorite.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say before. Buster is the best main design.
Yeah, because
it's just so chunky.
yeah, I like the chunk.
It has like that same Gaim design kind of heaviness to it.
Yeah,
you know?
and I like that how yes, he has the least color. I like how accented he is, like the colors with the gray, the oranges with the gray.
Yeah, and he's also got the biggest eyes of all the
Yeah.
writers, which helps a lot.
Yeah, it's so good he got his own manga.
Have you guys read it?
No.
Read it. It's so good. All the viewers also go read it.
Oh yeah, we're recording a podcast. All right.
Oh yeah.
Hey, speaking of things people forget about, the villains.
Now, talking about the villain.
Oh, Isaac!
talking
right.
about the
Now,
Isaac and his henchmen.
before we get, we need to explain the meme. We've been dancing around this whole time.
What meme?
There's been no memes here.
Oh, hey Toma, remember Kamijo, Toma? You know, Kamijo Daichi.
I don't think
Kamijo.
there's any memes here.
But yeah.
Only truth.
Yeah, I feel like his character wasn't interesting. Like Kamijo's character actually, in the first 15 episodes, unironically was really interesting.
It was interesting because we didn't know anything about him, and as soon as we learned anything about him, he stopped being interesting.
And now it's not that he didn't stop being interesting, it's that he set up the next mystery of who was the traitor, and that immediately set it up.
For that matter,
And,
did we ever figure out?
Blade plot.
For that matter, did we ever figure out why Disaster killed him?
No!
No! I think it's just because Disaster was an asshole.
Yep, he just killed him for no reason. And it's like, I feel like,
You know what? That makes me like Disaster more because he killed Kamijo. It makes me.
now it's
happy.
like Kamijo at that point was interesting because at first what you were expected to be the big bad was just another just someone that was serving a role and was served to set up who I was expecting to be the main antagonist. But once that, I feel like that. But as it,
they did that too many times.
But as the episodes went on,
they do that with Kamijo. They do that with Storius. Then they do that with Isaac. Then they
do it with Isaac.
Yeah, and then you end up with no, and then you do what?
Man, as like I was saying, like I feel like after that, like they were just kind of going away from that plot just a bit. But then when Kento reaches as a Caliber, I feel like at that point they completely forgot what they were going for with Kamijo. Because when they were introduced, like Caliber can see into can see all the potential futures. Which I'm like, if Caliber could do that, then Kamijo wouldn't have done what he did.
Kamijo's just stupid. That's why he had the power. He just didn't use it.
Yeah, like with what we know Caliber can do. Yeah, Kamijo is a dipshit idiot that just was an asshole. Who did everything for no reason. But at episode 15, like when he died, like he was still a compelling character who was just.
I think the problem is another problem though is that the fight that he dies in might just be one of the worst fights in the show.
Sadly, yes. Like the introduction for like the Dragon Knight was cool, but
after that, the rest of the fight was shit.
Yeah. But like it's still like I feel like that was the split in the timelines where in one timeline they followed up on that plot and where Caliber didn't see into multiple futures, and it was much more straightforward with that.
And there's also a reason why Disaster isn't just a dipshit who killed Kamijo for no reason.
Yeah, and has more screen time.
Yeah.
Well, yes, Disaster is and Ren's like dynamic. That's the best part of all of Saber, I would say. They still didn't get enough screen time.
Most of their scenes are just like them sitting around, you know, which it's okay.
But that's only later on, and it's just the scenes last like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
At least he gave us
two
two nice fights.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then when you look at the Megiddo, the concept like of the main trio of like the main three antagonistic Megids, like that was really cool. Where they were just three chill guys that just got corrupted by power and eventually just forgot about their human selves.
No. Two chill guys who got corrupted by power, and one guy who just became an asshole.
Yeah.
I hate Storius so much. I hate him.
Speaking of hatred, Tassel.
How dare you? Don't you dare insult my boy Victor. Baby boy, love him. Little boy, man boy, little baby boy.
If he didn't look, if his design didn't make my eyes fall off, then yes, I would agree.
But that's what makes him so good.
No, it
It's genuinely probably the only character whose personality and motives stay consistent throughout the entire show.
Yeah, I just fucked up. And yeah, and I still think like the Megid as like monsters, they feel like they were just kind of like they're just there. Like the explanation just kind of feels like yeah, they became like that. That's how they became. It's whatever. That's I feel like the show feels about Megid. It's just whatever.
I feel that's what the show feels about itself.
But I think what I want to leave Saber off of the one line is to not discuss the last episode because fuck that.
Yes. And what do you mean we need to discuss the last episode? The episode where Storius dies.
Yeah.
Because that had the rawest moment in the whole show. We can't finish this without talking about how cool that was, right?
I'm still saying the rawest moment was Disaster's death, but okay.
That's raw, as in that's like baseline raw, you know. But the raw in the last episode, the proper last episode, is a special kind of raw. I'm talking about when they have like everything's gone to black, and then you get all the little kids' videos, and then like the older people.
Yeah, where they pull Yoko Taro.
Yeah,
That was once
good.
again a collection. Saber is a cool collection of scenes.
It was You know what it was? It was a really, really...
Editors
Editors
note,
really,
make sure to post the image. Make sure the image is on screen right now. It's very important. Yeah. Like, once again, that was a cool scene, and I like that that
they
led
took
to...
a really bad version of what they did in Devilman Crybaby and actually made it cool. To be clear, the thing Devilman Crybaby did, that was sick as hell. Best thing ever. Nothing else ever does that well.
Yeah, like how that scene like transitioned us into like, you know, the opening becoming real. With
So good!
if only they had consequences.
You know what, you guys? You know what?
If only there were consequences.
You know, guys, I love Kamen Rider Double. Don't you just love Kamen Rider Double?
Yeah.
I wish every single Kamen Rider was more like Kamen Rider Double. And in that way, I'm happy. Because Saber's ending was the exact same, in my opinion, you know, just vibe-wise, as Kamen Rider Double.
But Double Sending still had more consequence. Because hey...
Yeah, but like the main consequence is still lost. But,
Yeah, the best moment in Double was tarnished because of that. But hey, we're not talking about Double. That's future content, surely. But yeah, like what once again, as I said, I've watched some discussions that people had about Saber, and I like the idea that they had. Like, what if at the end is since you know if you are the ruler of like the caretaker of the Wonderworld, that gives you the power of seeing the fourth wall, and then Toma would end the series as like narrating to the audience, where he would be,
so
where Toma would be the new Tassel. It would make sense since he is also a being that doesn't have drip. Where, people.
No, he's a being of ultimate drip.
People are
like
saying that, but he only had drip in episode 1. After that, it was just garbage. And
No, he has a couple of really good ones.
no, just episode 1. After that, he just has shit, especially his pants.
But
Look, the fact that you have shit taste, don't bring Tassel into Toma into this.
by those
What are you talking
rules,
about?
Does it mean that Kento is the next Wonder Man?
Yeah.
And in the episode that will not be named, we see that it does persist.
Yes. We'll see if it lasts 8 more years.
Yeah, you just wish he dropped the fucking turtle light because it looks awful.
You know, I really hope that all the characters look the exact same, and Sora hasn't aged up at all.
Have you seen the flashback to 15 years ago? How Daishinji and
I have.
Buster look.
I want all of them to look exactly the same, just Ren has a beard.
No, wait, not just a beard that's shaped like Disaster Chin.
No. When I say a beard, I don't mean like just like a stubble. I mean a full beard.
Yeah, I know, that's what I'm saying, because Disaster Chin has like a little like insect pincer bit down the bottom, and I want his beard to look like that.
Or if you want to go for true Kino, Toma gets a Tassel's shitty mustache.
Oh! No, we start the movie starts with him having Tassel's mustache
And shaving it.
and everyone's trying to get him to shave it off.
Yeah.
No, the movie ends with him shaving it off.
And then Yuri comes from behind the corner and has the mustache.
Okay, I didn't realize, did Final Fantasy IV came out today? On Steam? Wait a minute.
Nicely to the point, home. Thank you.
Right.
I was hoping to last a few more episodes before we do this.
Wait, what?
Don't worry about it.
God. Hey guys, welcome to our new Final Fantasy podcast. I hope you have fun. I haven't actually played a single Final Fantasy game other than Final Fantasy VIII, but hey, I'm sure I'll make my way around. So, starting
I'm sorry
off,
to hear you.
what is everyone's opinions on Final Fantasy 15?
I'm sorry.
I think it's the best game in the
I'm
series.
sorry to hear. I'm sorry to hear that you only played the worst one.
You know me.
Shut up.
You know me. It's really fucked up that you haven't played a Final Fantasy game, considering that Final Fantasy is the reason you're a fanboy.
Ah, goddamn fuck! I forgot. I hate you. I hate you. I hate you.
But yeah, This is a Kamen Rider podcast, and we're talking about Saber. The one thing I want to leave out,
And because this is a Kamen Rider podcast, we're not gonna explain that bit that he just said right there.
Correct.
You'll have to stir on it.
correct, but I wanted to leave off. I wanted to leave off the Saber discussion on a high note, to talk about the best character in Saber that isn't Disaster or Ren. Where I said that, like, the Disaster dynamic is the best part of Saber. They're not, either of them are not the best character. That privilege goes to fucking Isaac.
Yeah!
Oreva kamida!
He is what if so
He is our Lord Kuroto-dan reborn.
what if Tendo Soji was an antagonist but was also pathetic as fuck?
We'll have so much fun watching Shinkenger.
Don't spoil future content. I feel like that's a running theme already.
I mean, yes, your soonest encounter is gonna be Decade.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. I'm looking at how much we record.
I don't even no. Can I just say I don't need to watch Shinkenger to get Captain Marvelous. I've already seen Kamen Rider Gaim. Come on.
But hey, we're talking about Isaac. But yeah, I love how Isaac was set up as this actually like intimidating antagonist, but when you get him, he's a clown.
He's so
Like,
good.
Which is
Even
funny considering that Stories is the actual clown.
He has the reverse of like Kuroto's Kuroto's arc, in which he's super intimidating until he dies, and then he becomes a clown.
I like how he even baited Toma for like, oh, I actually have this deep backstory that actually makes me a tragic villain. Psych!
That's so good. He's just an asshole.
And that's what makes him. And that's what I love. Is just he is just this absolute dipshit. That just I'm gonna give Toma this book that nobody can control, so that he starts killing everyone. It's gonna be fun.
He's literally a spoiled brat. That's all he is.
I mean, of course he's fucked up. Do you know how much inbreeding his family must have done for him to look exactly like his ancestor?
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
God.
Yeah. But yeah, that was it. Saber, alright. Isaac is good. Primitive has a really raw design.
I give this season.
You've already rated it.
I'm rating it again. Fuck you. I gave this Astorius out of Isaac.
That's a really low rating, considering your opinion on stories.
You know what? You're right. I give this a Zuos out of Isaac.
Much better. That's the more appropriate. Zuos was raw.
Or maybe Home.
Zuos is the only good Megid.
What are you talking about? The other one also was very raw. He got fucking destroyed by Emotional Dragon.
That doesn't make him raw. That makes Emotional Dragon raw.
Yeah, he was in a raw fight, so that automatically makes him raw. Remember, raw doesn't mean good.
Fair enough.
Me, my hope you put all these ratings on screen. And with that,
Of course
and with that,
I have.
I also want to change my rating into one story is sub out of Isaac.
Well, this has been a fun ride, you guys. But I hope you keep your masks on in this pandemic. Have fun and see you later.
If
Battlefight
the person
Ridercast.
posting it is competent, you should see all of our Twitters here and there, description down there.
Except for mine.
No, you have to make a Twitter account.
God damn it, fine.
How else are these good people supposed to follow you and interact with you?
You can find my address at...
Make it more fun than a beep.
I'm making a burner account, moving out of the country, and changing my name.
Nice. But yeah, this has been the first episode of the Battlefight Ridercast, which hopefully this one actually gets shows up and not like our last attempt. Don't worry about it. It's a
we say
hidden
that?
lore, don't worry about it. So yeah.
That specific person who's not here. Don't worry, I'm not mad at you. No, it was bad anyway.
Technically 2 specific people, wasn't it? I think there was somebody else. I just can't remember.
Just remember, everyone.
Remember commentary.
Who?
Clock over.